Okay, so welcome again to another lesson for week seven, H Radio 223 part timers. Obviously, my name's Chris, and you can get hold of me anywhere. Well, you can mail me, whatever it is, but predominantly on WhatsApp. If you do have any questions, especially moving on to the formative three, which is please, I mean, you know that well, I mean, we need it for next week. What is the word I'm looking for anyway? But it's to be submitted by next week. As far as I understand, it's a Friday, not a Saturday. Right. Okay. Right. So good luck with that as well. Any questions, once again, just reach out for some assistance. Promotions and queue builders, execution and strategies is the last lesson for this week. It's part 6 of 9 from Cullinan and Nash's Next Level Radio. That's chapter 6. We're still there in pages 220 to 223. Right, still on execution. As you might remember, we obviously delved into that, should I say, quite heavily in the last lecture. So this is a continuation on of the last lecture. And also, what I'd like to do is again kind of just circle back to lesson 61 because we're going to have to look again at Lund's methodology or questioning around whether or not let's say an activation, right, promotion is of good value, right? Okay. All right, so let's look at some theory. This is going to be predominantly, like I say, theory. No more videos, no extra videos or additional content here. But you will have to go look at that particular one website as well. Another option there that we introduced in the last slide of the last lesson, where we listened to a couple of the promos, right, and also the executions, right, for those American, particularly those American stations. All right. Anyway, so once again, let's drill it because we've seen this in the past two previous lessons. What is the most important, or what are the most important objectives for a promotion to consider it a success? Well, one is to entertain the passive listener and get them listening longer and talking about the content. Two, once again, to engage that radio contest and the research participants to get them playing along, and therefore obviously listening longer, talking about it off air, that type of feel. To create platforms of engagement for brands and advertisers that are sponsoring and throwing money at us for that particular promotion, that activation. All right. So these stakeholders, the passive listener, the participants, and the advertisers will inform the execution process. How are we going to put this whole competition together, this promo together, activation once again together, is based on these three stakeholders over here. So here we go. Obviously, we mentioned this briefly before in the previous lesson, but we want to talk more about teasing and throwing forward and why it is mandatory. There is no discussion around it, or kind of like um what am I going to say? There's a word I'm looking for now. Man What is it when two people go compromise? There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Right, compromise. Right, no compromise on the need for a throw forward or a teaser for competitions. It's super important because we have to make people aware, and whether it may be happening in the next 15 minutes or next 20 minutes or at half an hour or whatever it is, certain part a time in that particular hour, or it is happening on another show, so you're cross promoting, or it's happening out throughout the entire day on different shows, right, at different times, and it might be happening out throughout the week then, and for the next weeks and weeks after that, 2 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, up to 6 weeks, we can keep on going with one big old promotion, right? It's very important for the DJ to make it very clear to a listener that this is going to be happening at this particular time, because we want the most people to enter and engage with this particular promotion, right? All good promotions need to be teased or promoted by the presenter, and the tease needs to get listeners interested to either listen further to see what's going to happen or whatever it is, or obviously we would like them as a point of entry, right? To go and try their luck, go enter, and perhaps be the one that is selected to go and participate and hopefully win in that competition, right? It needs to give the advertisers space to highlight their brand. Super important that when we get an official partner, they're paying a lot of money, a lot of money, right? Okay, to be part of like a full force activation, right? And so the thing is, they need to continuously get that quote unquote return on investment that they pay off, that their money is going to give them. And again, that's that kind of like that traffic again to some attention, to some direction towards that particular company, that product, that service, etc., etc. Right? Okay. So it's a promise once again to the listener that why they are about to hear, or what should I say, they are about to hear is worth their time and obviously effort. You're going to win this. It's gonna be fun. Like we're going to get the best person, or we're gonna change your life, or whatever it may be. And we're going to convince them that they should obviously keep listening because the promotion is of value to them. Once again, you will get like Nike shoes for a year. We're going to make it big, or we get it, even you're going to get the brand like obviously a pair of the brand new Nikes that cost, I don't know, 3, 4, 5,000 bucks. I'm not sure exactly what Nikes cost, but I know that it can get definitely up to that limit and even more, right? Okay, specifically and we have a lot of people that would love those really expensive, obviously like high quality, high brand shoes, for example, right? The promise will look different for both, right? So in other words, listening stakeholders, so the passive listener who will stay to be entertained, and two, obviously the active listener who is hoping to participate in the contest, right? So in other words, the promise of, for example, a passive listener is that they're going to get to obviously listen in, enjoy this particular execution. We're going to make sure that it's going to be great as a DJ, as a presenter. And obviously, it's been formulated and it's been scripted and it's been constructed in a way that it's going to be an entertaining, piece of content, right? Okay, a segment, right? So we know that we're going to tell them all about what's going to be happening, but then with the active listener, we are going to promise to them that this like you can win, right? You are going to be the brand new owner of whatever it may be, right? Okay, so the promise, the tease, the throw forward for the passive listener needs to highlight the fubby part of the promotion, right? So what is it like? Funny? I think it was. I always get this mixed up, but bold, beautiful, inspiring. Now for some other reason I can't remember the U anyway. But we can remember it at some other point. Anyway, okay, so off the top of my head, Askis, right. Anyway, so the promise, the tease, and the throw forward should convince the passive listener that the promotion will be fun and obviously all funny to the listener, useful to them. It might be bold, daring. Oh, there we go, useful. That's what is the U, right? Okay, bold, daring, and different, beautiful pieces of audio that will obviously inspire them in one or other way. So you must kind of think of different types of competitions, you know. So if it's fun or funny, we're going to be making people do funny things, or they are going to be telling jokes or whatever it is. They're going to be doing some outlandish stuff that we can't believe that they did or said or whatever it is. Useful to them also if we think of, for example, just semantics of something like knowledge, like trivial pursuit, that type of stuff, trivia. And that can be used as something that obviously let's say enriches someone's knowledge about a certain subject matter. We can also chat to someone and have them in an interview, right? In which people will then have to answer questions in or about, or they might call in, want to be part of it, whatever it may be. And then we'll also make them a winner of, right? Bold and daring, just again, that type of very unique, unique angle to a competition is also something that we really want to always do, even though the construct of a lot of competitions are pretty much the same, right? We want to add a little bit of our own flavor, right? And there's many ways that we can do that. We can go and incorporate social media, We can incorporate lives. We can incorporate that type of stuff where it lives in different places. We have a certain amount of prizes that are allocated for online, for on air, et cetera, for VIPs or members or subscribers or whatever it is, and we can go and do that type of thing to make an idea that does is time and temperature, and it's been trialed and tested for as a winning idea, right? So the example was that sound of that we watched in a previous lesson, right? But we can go and make that alive. So we can have that sound. We can have on social media. We can have a ton of people obviously guessing, and it becomes a little bit more bolder and different, right? And we see who could be giving us some videos or whatever it is, video content of them actually making the same sound. For example, them emulating the same sound in terms of being able to say, well, no, this is why I'm convinced that this is it. Can you hear the same thing? This is the sound. This is what I'm saying. For example, I think that's a pretty cool idea. Right. And then obviously anything that might be inspiring, right, at the same time. For example, like we have the Christmas wish lists, we have competitions or promos that help out communities, help out the elderly, help out whatever it is. And we can do that, right? We can build new schools, we can do this or that. We can, construct running water, many different things, right? That say to a listener, whatever it is, like I feel better about, like civilization of the human race, because this is actually happening, right? Inspiring them to have a better day one, but also to be a better person at the end of the day, right? So once this promise has been made, it is the presenter's job to obviously make sure that the execution of the promotion lives up to this promise and creates the emotive response that'll keep the listener engaged or get them talking about the promotion. So we saw an example of execution. I don't really have to go further in, more than just like passion, buy-in, presence, and again, like complete ownership of that particular segment itself is the DJ's job to make sure that all these things here that I mentioned in this particular point actually happen, right? So for the active listener, the person that actually calls in, the promise is an explanation. How do you do it? Like I say, text us here. You will be entered. We will call you in the next 10 minutes. You must answer without saying this particular word or starting off with this particular phrase, or. We give them simple instructions on how to enter and to obviously then qualify for that particular competition, right? All right. So the winning moment, once again, it is premeditated. We know exactly how this is supposed to actually sound. We pre-select a winner as well from our prize department. They will give it to us. So in other words, our prize department, we say more. It's sales, PR, marketing. Someone over there will give us whoever's in charge of this particular portfolio, for example, like this portfolio of this particular activation, right? Will be the one to go and say, listen, like go and we picked this particular winner. They seem to be a perfect match for, and also they also entered the correct way. No rules were broken. They read obviously terms and conditions, and everything applies just well, right? So that setup is there for the DJ to now play the jingles that they need to play. If there's bid, if there's a live read, if there's a live promo, we're going to say X, Y, and Z. We're going to take the caller here. We're going to ask them these questions. We're going to obviously announce them as a winner, and we're going to move on with life, right? So the very important to know that it is fully premeditated, it's scripted, and then it's obviously designed in such a way that it makes for a winning moment on air. The DJ gets into a lot of trouble. Will always get into a lot of trouble if they do not sit and actually make this a winning moment. They don't deliver because, I mean, come now. Like, I mean, this is your job, number one, but also, dude, like, here's the money that's being, like, it's being thrown at us, right? And we have promised them, we promised the client a really stand up job, right? Okay, to ensure them that they haven't wasted their money or made the wrong choice, right? So presenters are now obviously going to perform for only the passive listener. Throughout, through when we say the execution of that winning moment. We've already selected that active listener, and now we're going to make a big stink out of what is going to happen on air. Right. The active listener is obviously playing the game, either playing the game, they're taking part in whatever terms of direction, like the rules and what you have to do. They're busy doing that currently in the execution towards the winning moment, right? So it makes sense once again to say this is now for entertainment of the passive listener, right? So it's fully engaged. They're fully engaged as a player, or they become a passive listener who has now who's now listening to others playing the game, right? Because there can only be one particular person that wins at any one particular time. So anyway, the emphasis will be on the listeners or the listener who is not playing the game actively but listening in. And when execution or executing promotions, it's the presenter's job to keep listeners engaged with every part of Fabi, right? Okay. So once again, what do we say there? Funny, useful, bold, beautiful, and then obviously inspiring. We keep that in mind to make sure that all those little elements there are ticked off as we also execute that winning moment, right? To make sure. Come now, or any or all, should I say? Any or all. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So they should also prepare the winning moment and the throw forward for the next time the promotion is going to be executed in that particular day. Just give me a second. I just want to blow my nose. Give me a second there. All right, the nose is blown. Okay, here we go. So, continuing on, presenters need to focus on making that moment a winning moment, right? A winning moment. So that really that kind of big, I say, big energy. There's a big energy, and not to overinflate it. I mean, come now. I mean, once you've done said how congratulations, and played some obviously jingles, and there is some applause, or there's this, or there'll be a package that obviously like your sound engineers have put together for you that you need to play this and that, whatever it is, and we scream and shout a little bit and congratulate them, whatever. That's a winning moment. We need to also know that we have opportunities to push them a little further, so, like, if they'll start crying, say, come, talk to us, tell us what you're feeling, that type of stuff. Which part of this is going to literally change your life, or what are you thinking about right now? I think I've said that right. Oh no, I didn't say that with crying. Anyway, but that type of stuff of really like knowing like that there's just a little bit more that we can do to really, really, really just bring it home. Okay. So this is to ensure that obviously the winner feels valued. You are special. Well done to you. You have, yeah, like we are so happy for you. And it's courtesy of, once again, brand and obviously the brand partner and obviously the station name. Make sure that the branding is everywhere, right? Okay, that they'll want to tell their friends and people that have seen him on social media, or they've seen obviously the video on YouTube, whatever it may be. They can talk about it. Anyway, social media connections and how well they've been treated by the radio station. It's one listener at a time. So please, that particular listener at any one particular point, and they definitely will be a listener for life if they've had a really, really great experience, right, from the station and from obviously the jocks that they have interacted with, right? So winners become prominent ambassadors for brands, just said there, and they need to be looked after. So in commercial radio, if the promotion has a sponsor, a partner, or brand attached to it, the brand must be positioned as the hero. Thank you, MTN. Thank you, as we said, Boston Media House. Thank you, like CTM. Thank you, whatever it is, for making this all possible, for obviously being so incredibly generous with that, whatever it is. Thank you, and thank you. It's all because of you that this is possible, right? So it's important to make sure that the brand obviously reaches its objective of one, obtaining excellent audience participation on air to build the brand awareness, and two, to obviously embedding brand messaging into the right content. Okay. So I think it's the last slide here, and we'll do some exercises, right? Okay, so the execution of the winning moment, highlighting new products or product launches. Don't forget to go to this particular website. Don't forget that you can get the brand new this and this, buy whatever. Don't forget to look out for the new Coca-Cola flavor, whatever it may be, right? We want to push that as our post, kind of like a post read so the post read scripting, that type of stuff, effectively communicating short-term objectives, creating a strong, obviously positive brand association, and then obviously directing a listener to a clear point of purchase. Go to the site, go to the shops, go to the whatever it is, like make sure that you are registered as a member to get these type of specials, or to get this card or whatever it may be, right? And you can experience whatever it is, 20, 50, 60% off of your first sale, or your first purchase, should I say, right? So we convince them to buy the products or the services. Okay. So these objectives, please, need to be met in order for the promotion to be seen as a success for a brand or the advertiser. The success of a promotion is always a result of proper preparation, right? So with the activity, and obviously we will do just a little bit again of what we have here. Got to be reminded of Lund's rules. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop the share there, and I'm going to just quickly share on the other one, which I think was here. I think it was mentioned in 61. Lund. Here it is, right? Okay, checklist, yeah. So Lundson's checklist to make sure that the passive, active, and advertisers, right, listeners and advertisers benefit from a radio promotion, page 217. And these are the questions that we need to obviously, yeah, we need to ask ourselves in formulating this particular idea. Because the exercise there says go formulate an idea, and I want to keep it kind of basic in the way, so that we can actually check, and we will do this in class, right? But I want to kind of start you off in some of the ideas as well. Okay, so will it increase ratings, right? And you must be very careful. Like how is it going to increase ratings? And how are we going to up those cumes, like up the listenership? Um, because again, when what way are you attracting more people to listen longer? That is the biggest way of being able to increase that listenership across the day, across the week, throughout different shows, that type of stuff, right? Okay, and the easiest way is probably to have it active, right? Throughout, let's say, a week, throughout 6 weeks, whatever it is, or throughout the day itself on different shows. Maybe it's on breakfast and it's on lunch and it's on drive, as opposed to maybe, like all the other shows as well. Perhaps we can increase ratings by it being only a weekend competition, or we can only do it on the breakfast and the drive, alternatively, right? Or we can have it every single show, once per show, and it can be happening up to the late night breakfast, which is the 7 to 10, right? So will it create awareness? How are we going to make sure that it does create awareness, right? For brand producting. So we want to be able to make sure that the services and like let's say new products, new services, new shops, new like I say, new ways to be able to interact with the brand are how we are creating awareness to know, right? So with the example that obviously I've given you with Cotton Fest, like we're creating awareness, one, by if you can remember, by one, obviously having those particular guests, right, that are going to be featured at Cotton Fest, right? So that is awareness ticked off, right? Obviously ratings, we have them every single day. We have that particular that competition or that activation every single day, and also the awareness to go into to make sure that obviously, like, we have a bunch of people that are continuously going to a call to action, right? But I've created awareness there. Will it help establish a personal relationship between the station and its loyal listeners? Yes. So if we have to look at that competition again, let's say it was with YFM. YFM is the perfect station to partner up with Cotton Fest because there is a lot of urban alternative that we actually have in there. It is definitely youth based. It's everything that the ethos of YFM stands for. This is what like Cotton Fest is all about, right? So once we start, obviously, once YFM partners up, I think it's with Trace Urban, whatever it is, right? Then it starts like the listeners start to respect YFM a little bit more. You understand now? Like this is the station, this is my station, this is the brand that we are happy to associate ourselves as a P1 listener or whatever it is, right? Okay, will it enhance the station's image and brand proposition? Of course, it's going to, because as I said there, man, if it's surrounding itself or it's connecting itself or it's partnering up with really cool brands that really are sedimented within that composite listener's lifestyle, then damn, you know what I'm saying to you, those listeners are going to be like, like this is my station all the way, all day, you know? Okay, so will it give the station an opportunity to capture data about listeners? For sure, because if the entry mechanism is, let's say, a text, right? We can even do a little bit of an entry mechanism on social media and or both, right? We can do that too. And we'll get information. We'll get your name, we'll get your surname, we'll get your ID, well, I mean your ID number, because the thing is this, you have to be over 18 to go to, let's say, Cotton Fest or whatever it is. And we can capture data, okay, from this is basic data, which we can go and then add to our newsletter list, we can start sending out more and more information to our listeners that have obviously interacted with us, obviously are happy with the Poppy Act, etc., of us taking the information and so on and so forth, right? But also, if we want to do some proper radio analytics, right, we can see where exactly, if we have the money, that type of money, to really go and analyze, post analyze this particular competition. We can see and look at the ratings that move up and down between the day and across this competition, and see maybe when they start getting bored, maybe they feel like they don't. Maybe some of the listeners feel like they won't get a chance. They don't get a chance. They won't have a chance at all to be able to even be considered or like within like as a finalist or someone that's going to be selected. And maybe we need to maybe just adjust the way that we are asking for a call to action, or maybe simplify the questions that we're asking, or make it, whatever it is. Just go and obviously tweak that, right? And will it generate sales revenue? So in this case of, again, Cotton Fest, we're pushing, like you're hearing the artist, like it's a big old deal. If you don't get obviously those double tickets and then the $5,000 to go and spend there, ah man, who doesn't want to go watch all those 160 plus artists, etc., etc., right? Okay, so taken obviously our example, right? I'm just going to stop that over there. And then just once again, just share. I'm gonna just quickly share. So this one, so this particular document, I'm gonna just share with, yeah. So this one is, it's got obviously the full 5 day execution with the produced spot and the live read, and then obviously the executions per day, with competition winners that are selected day to day, Monday to Thursday, after to Friday, and then there are here are some so here's some opportunities here for you if you want to take that. It's more of a third year thing, right? Where there'll be like a bit of an outside broadcast rollout, which is ways that we can make more money from the clients, right? We can ask for more money. We can host a top 40 show there at Cotton Fest, with artist interviews, link promotions, obviously generic teasers, housekeeping, and for link snap giveaways, like obviously for merch to fans at the festival. So we keep on giving, right? But here are four other ideas that I would like you to go ahead and try. And then when I see you in class again, which is going to be now post, like it's going to be a while from now, right? It's going to be post the submission happening next week, right? And after submission, I see you in that week because obviously this week right now is for the third years, right? My third years. Okay. All right. So I'll see you in basically 3 weeks' time because I'm recording this on a Tuesday, and I'll see you then. And we will do this, but I want you to come kind of like with a rough draft of what you think the or what you can write for the nutshell part, maybe even a bit of the live promo part. Kind of break it down and see how it's going to work. So you can win a year's bursary at at Boston Media House. Expert professionals to guide in the process is a nice way of adding some good color to it. Spend a day with your industry idol. That's really cool. And we can tie that into an open career day on campus. $5,000. Benmore Shopping Center vouchers. We give away 5 days, five winners. What is your go-to coping mechanism to get through the first week on campus? And we can tie it in with Benmore products for activation, right? Benmore shops, Benmore, the shopping center, whatever it is, right? And products that are found in certain shops at Benmore, whatever we want to do, right? And five is a mentorship program collaborating with the SABC. How cool is that? Okay. All right. I'm going to stop it over there. And yeah, I hope you learned something there. I will see you on the flip side. Really good luck with your assignments, and I'll see you in class again.